Hey, it's me, your old pal Rico. Do yous have trouble getting your hiney out of bed in the morning? Do you struggle with punctuationality? Are you later than the cars and do some induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Well, let me tell you this, my friend. You need my new wake-up service, Rico Kazik Calls. Yeah, start the day with me, your old pal Rico, with energizing morning messages straight from one of the 60 payphones in the Staten Island area. Imagine this, if you will. You're all snug as a fucking bug in your bed, the sofa, the gutter, or wherever the fuck, and you need to get your day started. How would you want to wake up? An alarm clock that sounds like your wife's back shaver? Just between you and me, I'd rather wake up to the gentle sound of a ringing phone and the smooth vocalifications of your old pal Rico.
Hello?
Hey, bada boom, bada bing. It's time to wake the hell up, my friend. Ah, it's a nice day to sleep in. Wrong! Fucking wrong! And if you act now, you can upgrade for my premium wake-up service, Rico Kazak's Morning Poetry Calls. Hey, no more sleeping, no more snoring. Get out of bed, you fucking moron! Hey, the bread is toasted, the coffee's brewing. Time for shaving, showering, and pooing. So never be late again, my friends. Your old pal Rico got you covered for the low, low price of $19.99 a month. Or the equivalent of that amount in Powerball tickets. Whatever the fuck.
Rico Kazak Calls and Rico Kazak's Morning Poetry Calls are not legally responsible for you keeping your job, especially on Mondays.
Hey, I'm prone to sleeping in on Mondays. What are you gonna do, you know?
You're listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. The Panorama's #1 source for news, reviews, and thoughts about the new wave rock legends, the Cars. Oh, and a little bit of steel wool, sunshine, and rainbows.
Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast, episode 45. I'm Dave. Insert witty quip here. And joining me is our co-host, Donna, Sweet Purple June.
Hey.
And funnier quip here. I guess I obviously didn't get to the notes this week, but, hey, it's a format. And, hey, also joining us for episode 45 are our returning guests, part of the crew, Kurt and Jenny. How's it going, Kurt and Jenny?
Doing real good here.
Wow, that sounded like mob action, didn't it, Donna?
It did. It's a crazy scene here, people. The place is packed.
We're all in one broom closet recording. It's awesome. So, hey, we're back. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday.
Are you talking
Definitely here.
I'm talking to you. Yeah, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday.
Yeah.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah, fantastic. Donna, what's Christmas like in the Sweet Purple June household? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm envisioning your kids running around yelling about the pudding singing in the kappa.
What?
Oh, the pudding, it's singing in the kappa.
No, nothing like that. What is that?
Your husband doesn't bring home a goose and all that kind of stuff?
No.
Oh.
No, but we are steeped in family traditions. I mean, we have these different things we established with the kids from the get-go, and so they're just, even, the youngest is 13, the oldest is 20, and they still are like, okay, we're doing this, right? Like, We watch Muppet Christmas Carol every Christmas Eve. That's what we do. And all of the kids are there for it. And, we have our routines in the morning and just the way we do things. Yeah, it's...
Do you eat Christmas Crunch? Is that the routine in the morning?
No, we don't eat Christmas Crunch.
That's some good stuff. And it's usually on sale.
Huh. No, I've not heard of that. We make Grinch popcorn, but that's earlier in December. Is that the same?
I love it. Grinch popcorn.
What was that? So you got green food coloring, or what's the deal?
It's like popcorn, almost like Rice Krispie treats with that, melty marshmallow stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
And then, the green food coloring, and then red M&Ms.
Oh, yeah.
And a little onion.
And so we always make that, and then we watch we used to watch the original Grinch cartoon, and now we watch the Jim Carrey Grinch movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's one of our
Watched all
favorites.
those.
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
What about you? You've got grandkids running crazy, right?
Who, Kurt?
No, you.
Yeah.
Kurt doesn't have grandkids.
That he knows of. Right.
Oh.
Yeah, we just got off a 2-day stint of having all three with us, and let me tell you, when you've got one of them is late 2 years old, one of them is early 2 years old, so we had like battling dueling deuces the whole time. They both have that will, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. It's like, oh my gosh. So we kind of went through that, but yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah,
good
those
time.
sweeties.
Yep. All right, let's get to the news.
All right.
So we get our great year in review episode started.
I'm so excited.
First part of news. I don't know if you guys saw this on. I saw it on Facebook. Someone posted that "Let's Go" is in the Bumblebee movie, the Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Yes. I will be getting access to that movie ASAP, and of course posting the little clip because I like to do that.
Jenny, do they show movies in county jail?
Only on Friday night, so I'm missing it right now.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. They're probably showing Bumblebee. Probably showing Bumblebee tonight. Yeah.
Oh, they're probably showing Herbie the Love Bug,
On a projector.
Yeah.
Awesome. That I also saw that someone had posted that on it's called biddingforgood.com. They have a signed Les Paul, signed by some of the people from the 2018 Rock Hall induction.
I posted that.
Oh, did you?
If I blocked you on
saw
Facebook,
that.
do you never see my name, Dave? Because
I just see the post.
I know, because you're always like,
faces.
somebody
I don't
posted
judge.
this, somebody posted that, and it's me, Dave. It's me. All right.
Okay, I'll just change it. Probably Donna posted this, but I was looking at it, and they've got a bunch of names I don't even recognize. But you got Bon Jovi, of course, they signed it. All the Cars,
Yes.
Cass Cox, Elliot East, and David Robinson, and Justin Haywood. Yeah, good old Justin, and Brandon Flowers signed it too.
Yes.
And Amstel. So pretty cool, but I was looking at it. It's up to 8K at this point, but you can buy it now for $20,000.
I think Kurt's the high bidder on that, aren't you, Kurt?
Oh, yeah. I'm right in there.
I knew you would be. Just
Yeah.
buy it now, Kurt, for $20K.
Yeah. No, we'll have to see.
Yeah, okay.
He's gonna try to get a bargain.
All right. So the other bit of news was something that pertains to Donna.
Oh.
Donna, I know that you, since the last time we podcasted, you had some more writing published in, I believe it was Newcomer magazine.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody posted it. I think it was you.
I think it was me.
Yeah.
Yes, that was actually my first real legit paid writing gig.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Really?
I still have the cash. Of course, I took a picture of the check, and I still have the cash in an envelope that says writing money. And I just printed it out.
Writing money. I love it.
So,
All right.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was really exciting for me. Appreciate you mentioning that.
the reason why I bring it up is that, with this kind of a special episode, we're not going to do the midnight scroll at the end. We got one email.
Okay.
And I just thought I would read it now since it kind of pertains to your article in Newcomer Magazine.
Oh, it does?
It does.
Okay.
So I just thought I'd read it now. So we actually have an email from our good friend, Alberto Vargas. Alberto Vargas sent us an email, Donna.
This is a first.
That's impressive.
It is a first.
And
So
it is
let-
impressive.
And it's very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me read this to you.
Oh, boy.
Dear, sweet, beautiful Purple June, I read the article you wrote in Newcomer Magazine. You described the burghers of Atlanta with the visualization of a true artiste. Vargas hears your voice whisper when you write. Fresh Angus beef piled with perfect portions of smoked Gouda mac and cheese, bacon, and the apple butter barbecue sauce. Ooh, you make the ground beef sound so sexy. You paint with words like the Vargas paints with oils. It's sexy, sexy. Vargas wants to take a big bite right out of the page. A sexy bite. Now Vargas is painting the ground beef because it's so sexy. I paint the ground beef on a car. It's a sexy car with a sexy burger on top. And it has all the sexy fixings. The sexy lettuce, the sexy tomato, sexy pickle, sexy condiments, and a side of sexy fries. And Vargas paints the sexiest milkshake ever to wash it all down with. It's so sexy. You make it the David Robinson proud. Sweet, beautiful Papa Joe. Sexy hugs and kisses, Alberto.
Wow, he's a big fan of your writing, man.
Oh, my gosh.
That's top
Are you gonna
notch.
make a pinup?
Was
A
so
burger
funny.
pinup?
Yeah. I think I need to get one of those paintings.
Oh, my God.
You never know who you're going to touch, Donna, when you write about burger joints. You know what I'm saying?
That was awesome. Oh, my gosh. I am blushing.
I know. Hey, when I read it, I felt like I was there, man. I felt like I was there.
Good call.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Thank you, Alberto.
Yeah.
Mr. Vargas.
Yes.
Thank you
right.
for that.
Yeah. So Donna, any other news before we get started?
Oh, goodness. Yes, there is news, people. If you are in the Cleveland area in the middle of January, Let's Go, Benjamin Orr in the Cars is the focus of an author event at the Music Box Supper Club. Saturday, January 12th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 5 o'clock, so you can come in and get dinner beforehand. There will be a moderated discussion with author Joe Milliken, featuring David Spiro of Cleveland fame, and then a wonderful rockin' concert by the best Cars tribute band around, Moving in Stereo. It is a ticketed event. Tickets are $12 in advance, $15 at the door. So visit www.musicboxcle to reserve your seats.
Wow.
How was that?
That was quite a commercial.
Did you like
You
that?
know, the only way I think you could have done better was to do it like one of those monster truck rally commercials.
Yeah.
Saturday, Saturday, Saturday.
Oh, dang, I
Come on
should have.
down to the Music Box Supper Club for the Orb.
That would have been awesome. Dang,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. But that was really good, Don. I'm very impressed.
I always sound like a flight attendant. That's all right.
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't say anything.
Oh, you don't have to be shy with me, Kurt. I know my limitations.
Yeah.
I have no illusions.
Yeah. So hey, people, come on down to Cleveland, and Donna and Kurt and I are going to be there, and I'm taking some swag, some swag.
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
So,
I'm bringing Huckleberry Taffy.
because sometimes I get bored, and I'll just flick things at people.
Can't wait to feel that in the back of my neck.
Dude, what did you hit me with? It's a Night Thoughts button. You know?
There you go.
That pick is embedded in my skin.
Flicking stuff at people. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a valid question regarding that. The night of that moving in stereo for the dinner part. Is that something you have to do a reservation for the dinner as well, or not?
Oh, I think you can go both ways. Because they have like a
Whoa, wait a second.
easy there, fella.
What kind of club is this?
Easy there. I think you can reserve dinner, but then I think they also have like bar service, or like when we went to moving in stereo at that other place, when they get there you can order stuff.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know because we arrived an hour late.
Ooh, well, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, did you reserve for dinner or no?
I did not.
Okay, I didn't either. We just have tickets for the table. Okay, just checking. No biggie.
I was just gonna smuggle in some bagels and stuff from the continental breakfast.
Okay. That sounds good, Dave.
Dave's keeping it on the cheap.
Yeah, keeping it on the cheap.
Yeah. And so also, people, if you're interested in getting, we had Mr. Kurt Gaber designed some wonderful shirts for the book tour, such as it is. I mean, it's little, it's a little book tour. I don't want to be too grandiose. But they're very cool shirts. And so if you would like to get one before the event, you're going to want to order now from tpublic.com because it takes a little bit to ship it. But you can have those to wear to the event. And, of course, you can just order them to have. You don't have to. Someone was asking me, well, I can't go to commented, I can't go to the event, so I guess I don't get a shirt. It's like, of course you can have a shirt. You just have to pay for it. So, so order up those shirts, tpublic.com.
Yeah, Jenny, get a shirt.
Yeah, maybe I will. And I don't know. I have a ticket at the will call box if anyone wants to contact me about getting that for the music box.
Okay.
I can't use it.
That gal didn't get it from you?
No, I haven't heard a peep.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. Okay, so this episode we're talking about the cars in 2018, and glad to have Kurt and Jenny back. Yes. And I guess just to kind of start it off, 2018, probably the most exciting year we've had as fans since Move Like This came out. I think. Lots of great stuff. So what better way to start off a year in review episode than to point out that Turks love the cars? Jeez. I think that's pretty much how our year started, did it not?
I think you might be correct.
Yeah, Turks love the cars. There we go, Turks. I gave you your mention.
Shout out.
Shout out to the Turks who love the cars.
They do. They do indeed.
But actually, the very first thing of the year was knowing that the Cars were going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Kurt, don't you totally remember that when the members only pre-sale was going to happen? I mean, remember you and I chatting, and that morning we're waiting at our laptops for it to turn, bing, 7 o'clock my time was the time, so we could get on there and order our tickets for the induction ceremony.
Yes, and then disaster struck because I didn't have my code. Remember, I opted out for all the email stuff, so I had to call them. I had my office gal calling to get the number, and they actually patched me through, and they gave me this code, and so it made me get tickets later than one. But I was just like, I can't believe I did this. Waited for this, and then kind of blew it. But it did come together. But I had to pay a hefty price for my tickets. So well, it was definitely worth it.
And by the time I got on, which was because I was at school that day, it was like 10 o'clock, and they were gone.
They sold out so fast.
They were gone. Yeah. All those Bon Jovi fans, I think, snapped them up.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then they didn't even stay for the whole ceremony.
Exactly. We'll just part ways here. See ya.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean the I know we talked about this before. Bon Jovi fans left the theater?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. After Bon Jovi got done, they just took off. Very disrespectful.
That's classy.
Yeah. Oh, what an exciting time though. That just the celebration of them getting in and then being able to go, and all of it was just so thrilling.
It's almost hard to fathom all of it. Even going there and being there and being a part of it. and then to look back now and see what a big year 2018 was with all that happened. Obviously things we're going to talk about tonight with the 40th anniversary of the debut album and everything, but it really is. Every time you look at the pictures and just look at it, it's just like, I can't believe that I was there to see this and meet the people we did, and I don't know, it still didn't really sink in really.
I know. I watched footage of the ceremony and still I just can't believe it. And it still makes me so excited. I'm not used to the whole reality of it still.
That's one thing I never did. I never did look at any of the footage of the ceremony.
Oh, I can't
watched
help
it in person, and I just never watched any of it. I just never did.
Oh, man. I can't help it. I have to.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
So I gave you guys a list of all the things that, we kind of thought happened that were important or, stupid that I put in there throughout the year. I don't know if they're exactly in order, chronological order, but we'll just kind of, go through and just talk about each one.
Okay.
Yep.
But I have no idea when it was, maybe March, that the expanded editions of Shake It Up and Heartbeat City came out. Am I right on that?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And originally Greg had said it was going to be like that November prior,
yes,
or February or something, and then it just took them until March. So, Kurt and Jenny, did you two pick those up?
Yeah,
Jenny,
definitely.
Yep. Go ahead, Jenny. Yep.
No, I was just saying yes. I definitely. I pre-ordered them and everything. I did not know that one of them came with a colored. You could have opted for a color vinyl.
Right.
I was unaware of that at the time, so I do not have a colored vinyl.
Same here. I've just got the plain ones, but I did get both the editions. But the artwork and the sleeves are really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
Do both of you play vinyl, or do you just get them on a collector's aspect?
Oh yeah, I play it. I've got them.
I do too. Yep.
How's that turntable cover treating you, by the way? Jenny.
It is on my turntable permanently.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what, Jenny? Some people just cannot let go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm happy for her.
Well, is there a backstory?
You're happy for her in a bitter way?
No, I am not bitter at Jenny at all. I'm extremely happy for her. You, sir, I'm bitter about. Jenny, not bitter.
This is not the Festivus episode of Night Thoughts, Jenny. Just the year in review.
All right, I'll keep myself in check.
And if you want to get technical, I think it was like 2 years ago that turntable cover. And I tell you what, it's the thought that counts, Donna, Sweet Purple June. Let me tell you what I did.
Oh,
I notified Rhino, because they follow me on Twitter.
Yes.
And said, "Hey Rhino, blah blah blah." I explained the whole situation to him. Night Thoughts podcast, which is probably what they stopped reading after Night Thoughts podcast. But I said, Night Thoughts podcast, my co-host, blah blah blah. Really, really, really wants one of those panorama turntable covers. If you have an extra one lying around, it would be really cool to surprise her with a turntable cover.
You did
Just
that?
let me know. I'll give the address. And then what kind of response do you think I got, Donna?
Crickets.
Block.
Oh.
Crickets. 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 So
I can't believe you did that.
So,
That's
so
nice.
there's the thought. Yeah. So now don't you feel bad about getting all over Jenny?
I didn't get all over Jenny. I don't feel bad. But you're forgiven, Dave. You're forgiven.
All right. There you go. Thought that counts. So let me ask this to Jenny and Kurt. Since you listen to vinyl, I mean, I have lots of vinyl, but I don't have a record player anymore. Did you notice a big difference in those expanded editions, sound quality wise, than just the normal vinyl release?
Well, me personally, I didn't listen through headphones. I just listened on the stereo through speakers and didn't crank it. I mean, it sounded really good. Just from aside from the quality of it, the thing I would add is just that some of the songs I thought sounded a little bit hokey. I hate to say that word. I mean, they sounded real demo-ish, and then others were fantastic. Some of the ones on Shake It Up, I think I got a little note here. I Refuse, I thought was really cool again. Breakaway, we've heard that one. That's a great song. But others just sounded a little bit too demo-ish to me. I don't mean to be
especially
in a negative way, but
the Shake It Up demo, which is just hilarious.
I love it.
I thought they sounded great. I don't have a fabulous speaker system, so sounded really good for what I have.
Yeah.
Of course, the vinyl is a little bit warmer than the CDs. I also have the CDs, and I do think the vinyl sounds a little bit better and more deep than the CDs.
One thing that I would say is that even as I was listening, I listened to them earlier tonight too before we got on, and it was cool to look at the liner notes, read about it, see the lyrics, just like you used to do when you're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That is the part I love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back then it was headphones laying on my parents' shag carpet floor, listening to the Cars. Pretending I was doing homework when I was really reading liner notes.
Yeah.
But that's the best part, is to look at those pictures, especially the new ones, of course, I mean, new ones in both Heartbeat City and Shake It Up, but that was a ball to kind of relive that experience too.
That's
I
awesome.
agree. I totally agree. That was the best part about getting a new album was, sitting on the floor and reading it from top to bottom, every little word that's on there.
Right.
And,
Totally agree.
And then to have the liner notes from David Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
explaining in detail that was really cool to see that. And he had pretty free reign, was able to kind of rip on the original artwork on Heartbeat City,
Yeah.
And, said that Rhino did the best re-release or whatever however that was worded.
The
Very
best
neat.
do-over ever.
Yeah, there you go. And then even, Rick's input too. It's so neat to let these albums evolve over 30 years, 40 years, then have them look back and discuss it again, and have their work printed on these new albums that's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, even the interviews that they released, they were kind of short, but the interviews with the guys and hearing their musings at that point too, is just when Rick said, listening back to that stuff, and he just felt like he didn't appreciate Ben's contribution
Yes.
like he does now, and that kind of thing. Just so cool to get to hear them, like you said, Kurt, get to hear them talk about it now in hindsight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting that, people talk about the rich sound quality of music on LPs, and then, saying it's not as good as CD. And, I'm one of those kind of people now that I realize that digital downloads are just not as good as the CD quality. And for whatever reason why, I think we're kind of degrading our sounds as we go along with technology for some reason.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't have really the auditory discernment to, I mean, like I can tell huge gaps in quality, but I don't.
Did you say auditory discernment? In my part of the country, you say my ears ain't good.
That's exactly what I mean.
Auditory discernment.
Kurt, this is professional podcasting, man.
Well, shit, my ears ain't good.
Yeah, I don't hear so good no more. Right. So on from that, we have the infamous episode, the Weisenheimer brainstorm episode, which Jenny was involved in, and where in fact we broke John with Brain Dead. And I put this in the liners because I'm just wondering, John, I know you listen, buddy. Did you ever look up Brain Dead? Have you watched Brain Dead yet?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
Yeah, and I posed the question to you, Jenny and Kurt. Did either one of you watch Brain Dead when it was on?
No. Matter of fact, on these notes that we had about the topics, I have little notes that I put down by all the items we're going to discuss, and I have nothing for that because I wasn't really sure what that was about.
Yeah. So. Well, are you aware of Brain Dead?
Isn't it some kind of a show that featured Cars music or something? That's all I know.
Yeah, so well, it was a show that was about aliens invading Washington D.C. and they're attracted or motivated by You Might Think. And
Okay.
so that song is just played over and over and over in each episode.
So
Wow.
cool.
So
I never watched it.
the kicker of it was just a summer series, and the kicker on it was that I was so damn sure that Rick Ocasek was going to make a guest appearance in the finale. I mean, I was so sure.
I remember you talking about that now. Yeah.
Even down to the Instagram photo that Paulina had posted of the whole family in Washington. I thought, okay,
Yes.
this is a done deal. And then I looked like an ass. After.
Well, I'll say I was right along with you. I thought for sure. I was so shocked when he wasn't. I couldn't believe it. It was just too perfect.
Good show, though. I think, Donna, you have it on DVD, right?
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So, but you can also see it on streaming. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. It's a pretty cool show.
And you watched it, Jenny, right?
I did. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Donna, you want to bring up the next topic of interest in our year in review?
Well, if you're talking about Chris Morris, I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Do you want to read it? Read what I have down there for a note?
Please.
Chris Morris's awesome effing Cars artwork.
No. It says fucking, Donna. I'm looking at it right there. Chris Morris's awesome fucking Cars artwork.
Oh, I guess I have a different version.
Yeah. So
you must have the expanded edition of the notes.
Yeah. But that was a pivotal moment, I think, in our year, because one, we had this, we had the fact that the Cars are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then we've got, Chris, who is, doing the portraits of each band and having this cool new cartoon of the Cars, and then being able to get merchandise, which was just fantastic.
Yes. And Dave, the awesome thing is that you were all over it from the beginning. I mean, none of us, I'm sure.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Right.
None of us even knew who Chris Morris was. Dave was on it from the get-go and was really the one who revealed Chris's artwork to all the Cars fans. And then, because of the Cars fans, absolutely rabid loyalty to their band and their willingness to buy anything and everything with the Cars on it, Chris expanded his merchandise line to include all sorts of stuff that he wasn't normally including before because Cars fans were loving it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for a long while Cars stuff was the top seller.
Yes,
in his little shop.
If you go to his chrismorrisillustration.com, on the left there's all the keywords that are searched for, and they are sized by, I believe, their popularity, and the word Cars is still the largest, I think, or it's one of the largest. Yeah. And then of course that led to me getting to meet Chris in Cleveland. He was so great. He came to Joe's book event. We sat and chatted for quite a while. The nicest guy. He sent
Wait.
Go ahead.
Nicest? He's nicer than me?
He is one of the nicest guys.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's legit.
And humblest.
Yeah.
Oh, Jenny.
Zing.
That's a good one. Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop now. Go ahead.
Anyway, he was so great. And then he sent out, signed prints of the 2018 Hall of Fame stuff to a bunch of us, and just sweetest. And then I got to write an article about him, and we've invited him to the book event in January. So, Dave, you'll get to meet him, I'm sure. And Kurt.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm still so grateful, Dave, that you had that inroad from the very beginning and just followed it to this point. It's awesome.
I think I'm going to have him. I'll bring a Sharpie with me, and I'll see if Chris will draw a picture of Greg Hawkes on my arm.
That would be so awesome. That would be so cool.
Quick sketch, Chris. Just quick sketch. Yeah.
And so, of course, now you can imagine he's busily drawing the new inductees,
Yeah.
getting ready for the new poster.
So does he
I
have?
say,
Go ahead, Jenny.
well, I was just going to say, I really liked, as a T-shirt wearer extraordinaire, I have to say that the quality of his T-shirts is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
We know what you mean.
They're good.
So often nowadays, you get a T-shirt and it's really thin and it wears out so quickly, or whatever, it just fades. But the quality of T-shirt that he uses for his prints, is nice and thick, and it's heavy duty, and it lasts, and they really hold up.
Yes, I agree. I still wear mine.
On his quality, yeah.
I'm sure at some point during the weekend next month I'll be wearing the original black and white on white T-shirt that I got from him.
Nice.
Because it's one of my favorite shirts. I just wear it all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool beans.
Right. So we go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. I wasn't able to go because I was in county jail, much like Jenny is now, and we did the whole episode about the induction and so forth. But Kurt, I brought up that your awesome fucking truck.
Yeah.
that was just incredible. And I can't believe you took the stuff off.
I know.
Your truck. I would have kept that on there forever, man.
I can't. I wish you would have put that up for a vote, Kurt, because you should not have taken it off.
Well,
I thought you were referencing his gas mileage.
No.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun project. I mean, I knew I had to do something kind of big because we, be fairly visible down there if we did that.
Mm-hmm.
And using some of the photos that I got from Diane Page that I had kind of had since like 2009 was kind of cool because that's where I debuted a few of those. I kind of kept them under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
And using the other photos that I had the copyright and ownership from Phil Kamen on those, so I didn't have to worry about anything for legality's sake. So it was all good there. And then just the reaction that Natalie and I got from people, driving around Cleveland, on the way to Cleveland, thumbs up and honking horns and taking pictures.
Yeah.
And probably the highlight was when we went to the induction ceremony itself. We were in a parking garage across the way from the auditorium, and we got out, and there was a really nice note written on the windshield of the truck, that explained this is the coolest thing ever, and he left me a Twitter handle, to reply, and that was just really fun to get that kind of reaction from it. So
awesome.
You talk about the copyright, Kurt. Were you expecting some Ohio State trooper to pull you over and say, I need your driver's license, your insurance, and I'll take a copyright for those pictures on the side of your truck there?
Well, just being in Cleveland itself and at the Rock and Hall of Fame, you never know who's going to be there. But again, I had nothing to worry about. So, and I know Diane was excited to go out and take a picture next to the truck, so she was pretty fired up.
That's awesome.
But as far as the reusing the graphics, I think I posted those on Facebook that everything I took off the truck is reused. It's on my shop print room doors, and it's on the men's bathroom doors in the shop too, on the outside. And any place I had a vacant space that's all basically reused. I just took it off, heated it up, it kind of came back to shape, and put them on those doors. So it's really a cool thing to have those still hanging around.
So awesome.
Well, let me give you this hypothetical, Kurt.
Yeah.
Let's say if you would have been, it's after the induction ceremony, you're driving in your awesome truck, and you happen to see Rick Ocasek, Greg Hawkes, Elliot Easton, and David Robinson standing on the corner. They're obviously pissed off because their limo hasn't shown up yet. You pull up, you give them a ride in the back, because it wasn't, I know it was raining, but you give them a ride in the back. After you drop them off at their hotel, they say, hey, do you want us to autograph your truck? Do you let them autograph your truck, Kurt?
I suppose we could let that happen. Sure.
I mean,
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I say yeah because Sharpie comes off with if you use those dry erase markers. This is an old teacher trick. You can go over them with dry erase markers. That Sharpie will come right off for when you trade it in. But by golly, yeah.
I tell you what. Obviously, I was hoping that at some point it could have been visible enough for somebody to see it. I tried to park out in front a few of those days and kept running out and just feeding the meter just for that reason, And a lot of people did see it, but as far as any of the big wigs, who knows, But it was a lot of fun.
Well, I saw it, Kurt, and one of my favorite wonderful memories of the Rock Hall is that Friday morning going and parking in the parking garage and seeing your truck. I parked right by your truck, and pulling in and going, oh my gosh, like it just felt like there's family here. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I like your pictures that you and Joe took. Those are pretty cool.
Me gazing at Benjamin.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kurt comes back to his truck, and there's Donna making out with it.
Oh, my goodness.
Spit all over the side.
Yeah, it's like
lipstick smeared on it.
Yeah.
Jenny,
awesome.
did you see Kurt's truck while you were there?
I didn't see it in person, no.
Ah.
And I was in that parking deck, so I don't know.
It was a sight to behold. See, Kurt, that's another reason why you should have left your stuff on, is so you could just drive to Jenny's and show her.
Come on down.
You know what? I kind of got a lot of people that asked about that. Why'd you take it off so fast? But I don't know. The whole people know I'm a cars geek, so that part would have been okay. But it was. I left it on for another week after I got back, and then there just came a point where, well, it's got to come off, and it was a tough thing to do, but that happened. So
yeah,
it was really cool how you videoed the process of putting it on.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
I thought there'd be something kind of different, It was a high-speed video, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you sped it
Yeah.
up.
Oh wait, you don't really work that fast?
Good one, Dave. Yeah.
I thought you were trying to drum up business. Yeah, we'll get it done in an hour.
Pronto.
Yeah. Right.
That's funny.
Gaber's pronto sign work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, going along with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, here is our big moment in time. I think she has gotten some great notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are continuing to visit her. I was just telling my wife tonight that Rock Hall Robin, I think everybody that is on Facebook and so forth, when they go to the Rock Hall, I think they're searching out Rock Hall Robin.
I think you're right. And well deserved.
Yeah, they should give her a raise, by golly.
They should. She is the sweetest.
Yeah. Even when I got there, I think it's the first day. I had a Benjamin Orr shirt on,
Mm-hmm.
and she asked me, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get that shirt?" And I'm like, "Well, I have some I could sell you." I had a few with me. I was kind of giving some out, selling some. I didn't really know who she was,
Mm-hmm.
So she said, "How much?" So, it was even kind of awkward because here you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, license this, license that, and here she's asking me for this shirt. I'm like, well, I thought we were making some drug deal go down, I'm handing her a shirt, she's paying me, and it was just like I was a little nervous about it, but I see she was wearing it like the next day because I went there like 2 or 3 days in a row, so that was kind of cool to see her enjoy the shirt.
Yeah, I think
it was kind of like those. I'm sorry, go ahead, Donna.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say it kind of reminds me of those concert T-shirt dudes that would always be out at concerts selling the black jerseys with the white sleeves,
Yeah.
There's Kurt hawking his Benjamin Orr shirts at the Rock Hall.
Yeah, I know that was just it, a little awkward, but I just kind of kept them in a bag, and I knew that I wanted to get them to a certain few people, which I was able to, which was really cool. But yeah, and then. I don't know if I discussed this before in a podcast, but it was kind of neat that I think the second day, that was the third day maybe, we were going to meet Diane Page there. And when she came down, Robin was there and she recognized her when she came in, And
Robin recognized Diane?
Yes, yeah. She came right over and they kind of introduced and chatted for a little bit. It was just kind of cool again, with that whole shirt connection going on. So I don't know if she had that Benjamin Orr shirt on again or not, but it was kind of neat to see.
She's just the sweetest gal.
She's very cool. So, Donna, what were you going to say?
Well, I was trying to remember how her and I recognized each other in the sense of, identified each other as Cars fans. And I can't remember if she was wearing a Cars shirt, because it was also that Friday morning, Kurt. Or for some reason, I'm thinking she said something about my panorama earrings, because I had those those checkered flag earrings on. But somehow it was like, within seconds, we were like, Cars fan? Yeah. And then I introduced her to Joe, because Joe was with me. And so then it was just, exchanged email addresses immediately and, Facebook, and just an instant connection. And then it was so great to see her through the weekend.
Right.
So.
Very cool. All right. So during that, the induction ceremonies and so forth, Moving in Stereo, who's going to be playing next month at Joe's book event, played. Mm-hmm. And so you people who have actually seen them perform, give us a little bit of insight into what we can expect from Moving in Stereo.
Well, I think I said when we talked about this before, and I still stand by this, I think this is the closest you're going to get to hearing the Cars live without it being the actual Cars live. These guys are so good that you just can't get closer to hearing it live. They're great.
I agree fully. Yeah, they were really good.
They're the nicest guys, and they don't they don't put on wigs and try to be the Cars. Although they know they're fulfilling a role, and they just they nail it. They are great. They're great.
Jenny, were you there at the Moving in Stereo concert?
I was not. I did something else that night. So I have not had the pleasure of seeing them live.
Well, when I went to see them, that same night, we got on the party bus, and the party bus had a few delays, just a few technical difficulties, so we showed up like an hour late. So I was really disappointed to miss a bunch of it. What we did see was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Kind of a cool part of it was that, Kathy, who put the bus tour together, her daughter was right up front dancing and singing and having a ball. Well, she got some drumsticks, so I got one of the drumsticks, from those guys as a little souvenir. But I know that the upcoming trip here on the 12th, I'm really looking forward to it because I'll be able to take it all in right from the get-go. And even kind of connecting with the guys, through Facebook, just kind of makes it more personal when you know them a little bit, You see what's going on with a few of the guys. So it just helps it be a little more personal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them again. When I looked on Facebook, somebody recorded a pretty good share of it, and I saw this only like a month or two ago. Man, it was good because you got to realize I missed an hour. So to see those other ones, I agree, Donna, that they nail it. They got a good sound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely worth seeing.
And they play the whole catalog. I mean, they're not just in the first couple albums, or they're not. They can play. They play all the way from the debut through Moving in Stereo, Move Like This.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
They have a huge
awesome.
set selection. Yeah, they're really good.
So, Donna, do you think we should be maybe throwing Night Thoughts buttons at them during the performance? Or?
Well, no. I want to stay friends with them, but I'm sure you can be flicking them at people in the audience, Dave.
Awesome. Dave, just get a handful of Night Thoughts guitar picks to Matthew. He'll be chucking them out the other way.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, he'd do that.
He'd definitely do that.
I'm Facebook friends with Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I cannot remember his last name.
Ayala.
Say it again.
I said Ayala, but whatever. I'm from up north.
Danny A.
Yeah, very good. Danny A.
Yeah, and he plays the Rick Ocasek part, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of cool. Maybe I'll get him something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Matt's on bass. Lars is the keyboard player. Noah is the drummer, and Bob is the Elliot.
Bob Elliott. Ellie Bob.
Bob Heaslett. Yeah, gosh, they're just great guys. You know, Matt was instrumental in setting up this event with the Music Box Supper Club. He was just right in there with me, and just he had the contact at the club and really did a lot of legwork for me, and just got us right in the door. It was really great. So I can't wait to just give him a hug and tell him how much I appreciate him doing that, because it was instrumental.
Hey, Donna, I mean, I got the tickets for that and all, but as far as the location of that music box, how far is it, like, from the Hall of Fame, just for reference?
Less than 10 minutes. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's really close.
All right.
And I guess I think there's valet parking, but I think there's also free parking. Matt said it's like one of the best venues in that sense, that it's easy to get to, it's easy to park. He said it's beautiful inside and out, so it sounds like it's going to be really great.
Good deal.
Yeah, so which one of you is going to give me a ride?
Me? I was told you.
Oh, you're giving me a ride?
Oh,
well, I'm hopping on the bandwagon too, because we're not renting a car. We're gonna Uber, so we're gonna either Uber or beg rides.
Yes, I can give you a ride. I'm renting a car.
Oh, so Kurt, you're not driving. You're flying.
Yeah, we're flying.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, let's make plans about that, because I don't know what time I need to be there yet. I know I'll have to be there earlier, so I can either pick you guys up earlier and you can come with me, or it's like I said, it's Dave 5 minutes from you, I think, or 7 minutes or something. It's really close.
Well,
so.
Dave and I can just be personal bodyguards, so just pick us up and we'll take care of business.
Yeah.
Well, they might not let you in.
Well, they'll let me in.
That's true, man. That is true. So, but Kurt, you might be flying into O'Hare.
No, we're going direct. There's no stop. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, well, I thought maybe there might be a chance we might be on the same flight.
Okay. No, it's direct.
All right. Okay, so moving on, I've got next on the list, and it's a sad one, but I wanted to bring it up because I think it was such a shock that right after the induction ceremonies, it came out that Paulina and Rick announced their breakup. And we've talked a bit about this. I just want to say kudos to Paulina for sticking by her man. I mean, really showing that it was a family thing, and going to this thing and supporting him through this. Mm-hmm. And I think her message that she put on Twitter, basically said, hey, we're still a family. It's just that, we're not together or whatever. I thought that was really classy.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Think about the I don't know what the word is for Rick's performance. Just, with him up on stage, knowing all this, I mean, nobody had a clue. Mm-hmm. I think wasn't even Greg and Elliot that had commented, they had no idea of this. Yeah. And, and for him to get up there and do this thing and look out, and there she was dancing and standing and singing along, during this, that had to be really bittersweet for him too, knowing that this would probably be their last hurrah, so to speak.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because we don't know where they were at with the whole thing. I mean, it sounded like Paulina indicated that they'd made the decision quite a while ago.
That's what I thought. I read too.
Yeah. So maybe they had gotten used to it to a certain degree, and really were just still best friends, and just genuinely happy for each other and happy to be together.
Yeah. Something that was kind of interesting too is when Natalie and I got to our motel in Independence, near Cleveland, I've had the truck, pulled up front to whatever, you drive under the canopy and go get your room. Well, these two girls were looking at the truck and taking pictures. So we talked to them, and here they're Bon Jovi fans, huge Bon Jovi fans. So, we just hit it off, and we see them at the motel. We actually saw them out and about, and we just kept running into them, But they were really nice girls. And they went to the red carpet event where all the musicians and family were able to go to the rock hall before. Mm-hmm. And they were right there at the front of the row taking pictures. So they shared all the pictures they took of the people coming in. And in return, we swapped them some Bon Jovi photos from like the day before that they didn't see. So they were thrilled to get that. I never posted those photos, but I got some really cool ones of Rick and Paulina walking in with the boys behind them. I got some really great ones of Elliot Easton, waving to these girls, So they're really cool. I'll have to show those when we go to Cleveland coming up. But yeah, I mean, here Paulina is, slicked up and standing by her man, like you said, Dave. Very classy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and they got good-looking boys. Those two created some good-looking kids.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right. So next, we got, and I can't even remember. Well, it'd be June at this point. June 6th, the 40th anniversary of the debut album.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about this, special shout out to our buddy Ken Mills from Pop. Of having us do the crossover episode about the debut.
Yeah, that was so fun.
It was very much fun. So, Jenny, thoughts on the debut?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It is on. It is and always has been a top 10 desert island record for me.
Mm.
Were I stuck on a desert island, these are the 10 albums that I would have. The debut has always been on that list.
Nice.
That's what I gotta say.
Were you disappointed that they didn't do anything special?
Yes.
For the 40th anniversary?
Especially because I'm pretty sure there were whiffs of hints of it. There was somebody from Rhino who was on a podcast a year ago or a year and a half ago, and he was making mention of the 40th anniversary of the debut, and so the anniversary came and went with nary discussion.
Jenny, come on now. They did have the Cars hashtag day.
National Cars Day?
National Cars Day. Come on.
Yeah.
Surely a hashtag was, enough.
Sure.
It's like
Did
when
I
they
tell
do.
any of you that I investigated that, though? What was said to me? That the person with Rhino, we won't name names, but he basically, in a nutshell, told me, if we don't have anything new from the creator, we can't put anything out. And that's the situation they found themselves in.
Oh, really?
There was nothing coming from Rick and management, so they had nothing to put out. So
I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't their problem. It was a problem of having material.
Yeah.
I know John Mortis will side with me on this, but I'm pretty sure that Rick, for a number of years, said they did a fantastic cover version of
Jenny.
Give me some kind of sign,
Yes.
and surely the debut release party is recorded at least audio, the audio, maybe not the visual.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and that's what we were hoping for. We were hoping for that.
Right? Come on.
Yes.
Video, photographs, audio.
In all fairness, it may be a situation where Rick doesn't have that audio mixed or whatever to his satisfaction and would want to release that at this point.
Come on.
Well,
That's my guess, anyway.
There's plenty of underground people out there willing to,
Exactly.
torrent it and
Yeah.
bootleg action.
Well, it's safe to say we were all just kind of disappointed that that's all we got out of it, but.
Yeah, I agree with that. You think there would have a little bit more going on, like you had said, Jenny, with the hint of something, down the pipeline a while ago, and nothing to really come about. That was quite an anniversary, but I mean, the Rock Hall induction. Did they feel like, geez, that's good enough to recognize it? We don't want to You're not going to overshadow that, but it is interesting that there wasn't a little more done.
Yeah. Well, and just think. Next year is going to be the 40th of Candy O, and the year after that's going to be the 40th of Panorama.
Yeah. Well, but they've done the release with those unreleased tracks for those already. So you're right. Yeah. And with the deluxe album already having been there could have been. Is there anything left in that vault? Was there something that was hanging out, or did they use it up? I mean, that's the oldest album, so maybe it's used up and there's just nothing available.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll go check.
Okay.
I'll look and I'll let you guys know. Rick, let me in. I
The
mean,
Rick fault.
well, and I think, Dave, I think you and I have talked about this briefly before too. I wonder if Rick just doesn't understand how much the fans love even the like middle of the road stuff. Even stuff that Rick would be like, well, that's crummy. I'm not going to release that. Well, we're like begging, give us anything and everything. Pictures that are, overexposed or, crappy pose, whatever. We want it.
Yeah.
Give it to us,
Well,
Tons of
that's
live shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Muddy audio, we don't care. Give it to
I
us.
think that's so with the fact that they released that demo of Shake It Up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't think they're that concerned about quality. I mean, when it comes down to it, that Shake It Up demo is pretty ridiculous.
What did Kurt say? Campy? Yeah.
Campy.
Hokey.
I love it. But
What
see,
was
that's
that
the
word
thing.
I
I love
used?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, hey, I made a cool sticker for the 40th anniversary. You guys saw that, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
You got one, didn't you, Donna?
I think so.
I got one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me a nice little pack of goodies, Kurt.
Well, that's more than Rhino did, right?
Right.
Okay.
That
Kurt
is
is
the
better
biggest
than
news
Rhino.
of the year. That's right. Kurt Gaber did more than Rhino. There you go.
Oh, right.
Hashtag Kurt.
Yeah,
Ooh,
hashtag
yeah.
Kurt.
Gaber Day.
National Gaber Day.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hashtag Gaber. All right. So, and Donna, you're going to have to refresh my memory on this. I know it was during the summer that we had Greg Hawkes on the podcast. Was it July that we had him on?
I think it was the end of June.
End of June?
I think so.
It's like a Tuesday or something like that. Tuesday in the afternoon.
Yeah. It was an off day for us, but what did we care? We were so happy to have Greg on the show.
Yeah.
I'll look it up really quick.
So any thoughts on that podcast? I am assuming that Kurt and Jenny have both listened to it.
I have a question about it. For one, again, making reference to my notes, I have here epic highlight of the year for Greg Hawkes on the podcast. For you guys. I mean, that's just to listen to that one was really, really cool. When I heard that he was on, I'm like, wow, talk about validate your podcast, all the work you guys put into it.
Oh man, that was the best.
But how did that come about? How did the wheels get set in motion to get that done?
Well, okay, so we got back from the Rock Hall and I did the episode with Dave where he just let me talk about my experience at the induction and everything. And Elaine Hawkes listened to that episode of the podcast and commented on it.
Which scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
both of us
fine.
are like, oh no, what did we say? What did we say?
Oh, yeah.
But so she commented on it. So then I struck up a conversation with her. We became friends on Facebook and kind of started chatting with her. And then so I just kind of threw it out there at some point. I can't remember what the conversation was, but I said, oh, if Greg ever has a couple of or some spare time or something, of course we'd love to have him on the show. And her response was, I'll ask him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And so like the next day she said, yeah, he said he'll do it. And I about died. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And so then we got it set up right away. I just pulled it up, Dave. It was aired June 8th. Okay. So it was the very beginning of June. Yeah. And
wow.
Yeah, so I remember Dave calling you and just being like, I have something to tell you. But you know what? It was like drum roll, and then when it's like that sort of crashing cymbals, like, oh, poo at the end. Because Dave's like, oh, that's nice. Kind of, like, he was excited, but he doesn't get like I do, like hyper reactions. So he didn't.
Yeah, but most people don't, Donna.
Hey. He didn't gush like I wanted him to. He didn't just freak out. But
well, someone's got to keep the boat floating straight, right?
It's true. Could you imagine if we were both like me? Ugh.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting.
Relative to that, I mean, I was telling you, before we got on here, I had butterflies. It's just natural to you kind of get into it. Mm-hmm. You guys had to be just a little nervous, didn't you?
Oh, I was. And I was fortunate to be able to talk to him a couple of times on the phone before the actual podcast because he needed to get Skype set up and, we needed to do kind of a test run and make sure that we could connect. So the first time he called me and was like, "Hi, this is Greg," I thought I was going to fall through the center of the earth. I was so excited. And Lizzie, my daughter, was teasing me later because I was like, "Hi, Greg." Lizzie later was like, "I could hear you just barely restraining yourself, you know." It's hard work. But yeah, when we started recording, I was nervous at the beginning too, still. But then yeah, you get into the conversation, and pretty soon it just became normal to be talking to Greg. You know, I wasn't thinking, "Oh, this is Greg Hawks," the whole time. It was like we're just talking to Greg, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think, and on my end, the only thing I was really nervous about was saying something stupid that he wouldn't think was funny. But
he was the best. He laughed at everything.
Oh yeah.
I've had a history with him, and you know, that goes back to like the late 90s or whatever, asking him if I could use his music. And so even though he didn't remember, obviously, but I still had that connection that gave me some comfortableness with the situation, I think. But yeah, he was really cool.
You're good at ad-libbing as you go, and that's what makes it fun. You know, I mean, that's what it's about, is not to just give a bunch of boring blob, you know. I mean, live it up and let some things go and drop a few F-bombs. I mean, I thought it was very entertaining, you know. And he played along great, you know.
He was great.
It was really, really cool.
Didn't we ask Greg what his favorite cuss word was? Wasn't that one of my questions?
You did, yes.
You did, and
I don't remember it.
It was the F word. Yeah, it was the F word.
Oh, wow.
He just rolled with everything, though. He made it so easy because he was so relaxed and chatty, and we didn't really have to drag anything out of him. He was in it from the start. Yeah. And Dave's question about if David had warm hands, or what did you ask him? I can't remember.
Yes.
He's like, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I did throw that one in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a part 2. I think that I still, you know, keep in touch with Elaine a little bit here and there, which is wonderful. She's really sweet, and just, again, she's like Greg. She's easy to talk to, and so I think that, you know, in the new year, I'm looking forward to doing part 2 with him. I think he'll be on board.
I think we should do an episode with Elaine and Greg. I think it'd be interesting to have both of their viewpoints on things.
Yeah. That would be really fun.
That would be.
I mean, I'd be interested to know, you know, if she went on any tours with him, those kinds of things.
And what it was like at Live Aid, because she was there for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she get kind of a different perspective from that.
Love it.
This isn't related to the Greg and the podcast, but just, you know, Dave, remember he had kind of let go of some items this summer.
Yes.
Including some of the album or the gold records. Did that surprise you?
No, because I think it's one of those things that when you have all that stuff around you, I kind of identified with it as, you know, stuff that I'm always giving away stuff or whatever. Yep. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, why do I have this stuff? Why am I holding on to these things? And just, you know, I need to get rid of it. You know, it's just on a different level with him. You know, there's just some things that I think he held on to because I think he's a guy that likes to keep memories. But, you know, there's a certain point where you're like, I need to get rid of this stuff. So it didn't surprise me.
Okay. I mean, it's a case where I'm a little bit the opposite. I tend to get a little sentimental towards material things, you know, and in something that important, it's very interesting and maybe very admirable that he's able to do that. I mean, here they've reached the pinnacle. This is the year, you know, they're inducted, 40th anniversary, all these things, and it's like, was that a conscious decision? Like, you know what, maybe this is the time to let this stuff go, and you know, to somebody who would really appreciate it, which somebody had really deep pockets that could appreciate it. Believe me, I was bidding on those and didn't get any, but boy, was it fun to have a shot at it, you know?
Yeah. Jenny, did you bid on any of that stuff?
I did, and I wasn't catching anyone who won, you know. I think I missed the deadline anyway, like the final push.
Before the bidding closed or whatever.
Yeah. Donna, did you bid?
No, I didn't bid on anything. No. And I was surprised about the gold albums because I can understand
Right.
T-shirts and certain
Yeah.
levels of memorabilia, but to me, because maybe I'm kind of in the middle between you two guys, because I would have thought those in particular would be, part of your legacy that you might want to hand down to your kids or grandkids, or I don't know. I thought of those in a different category than just general memorabilia.
Unless it's a case where there's, more than one of those, because I think they might have, a few. Maybe there's a case where the few of those are still around. It's like you say, why do I need multiple copies? So it's like, yep, down the road,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What were you saying,
Well, one
Danny?
thing's
No,
like,
I said the same thing. I said maybe he has more than one, and can afford to give up some. But I'm in agreement with Dave. Actually, there's no point. You can't take it with you, right? So I years ago in substitution mass confusion Facebook group, Dave, you did that random act of kindness that people got all wiggy about, and
yeah.
and gave away a lot of stuff, including a signed hat, cap that Benjamin was, he wanted to keep or whatever.
You
but,
wouldn't give it to Benjamin Orr, Mr. Random Acts of Kindness.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben, you're out. Can you sign this for me?
But I fully supported that, and you, Dave, and I agree. You come to a certain point, and it's like, do I really need this signed record? Benjamin, Merry Christmas, Carl on it that I'm looking at right now in my house. Yeah, I do actually still need that. But some other things.
That's a good one.
Other things, man, I can let go.
I would suppose there'll be, peaks and valleys in a collector kind of way, because even, through friends I've met on Facebook, I was able to actually buy like an entire collection from a few people that I'm like, wow, they're going to let it go, So I would just, I was able to do it. And now it's kind of neat and cool for me, but you're right. Once you have it, unless you're showing it off to cars friends, the average Joe is not going to really care. But boy, when it's show and tell time for somebody that cares, I love that stuff, So I'm a hoarder.
I usually like to stick with things that I'm going to use to a certain extent, like T-shirts and things like that. I like that better.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I see.
I had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You had a big package you were ready to send me, but now you're not. I said that.
Now that you said that, I'll just
Nice.
cross it off and put somebody else's name on there.
Nice.
But Kurt, you kind of have your music room or whatever, right? That you have stuff up on.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a man cave. Yeah, I got a stereo there and a couple guitars and Cars albums, and I thought about expanding upon that, and my wife would be really good about it. She'd be fine with it if I did it, but I don't know if I would. I'll probably just leave it a little bit as is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, and as we started up the podcast, I started, putting things up around my little podcast cave here. That's, in our office, which my wife, does accounting work in. And after I'd put up the promo poster from the debut album and Chris Morris's illustration that he sent me, and she remarked to me, looks like you got a little car shrine going on in there.
Yeah.
It's like it's the podcast cave, honey. Yeah, I've got to get into it.
Makes sense, right?
I like having it around me while we're doing the podcast.
Sets the mood, you bet.
Yeah.
My son is getting married next spring, which will free up his bedroom. So my one daughter wants to move out of her bedroom into his bedroom, and I think I might get a little office space after that all happens. And I was already thinking, then I can actually put up some of the stuff that I have, because I just don't have my own.
Some of your T-shirts, you could just put them on hangers and hang your T-shirts there.
No. I do have some stuff that's not usable. I'm not legalistic about that.
That's not how you display T-shirts anyway, Kurt. That the protocol for displaying your T-shirts is to have them on a bed and then take a picture of them. That's the way it goes.
Okay.
It's been that way through all history.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So from there, we had a what I called a resurgence of Turbocharged, the unauthorized story of the Cars, from Mr. Dave Juskow. We did a whole episode on that. I don't know how much resurging it's continuing to do. It's kind of in limbo. But I'm the more I get into streaming services, because we're all streaming now in my household, got rid of the cable and all that kind of stuff, the more I see that that's the place for Turbocharged to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
I agree with that.
That's the way it's going to go. You know.
Here's some input I have regarding that. I had never heard of it at all until that podcast that you did, regarding it, and you guys laughed and laughed about it. And I want to kind of say that even on my notes here, still clueless and spoiler free. That's what I have down, because I can't wait to see this thing when we go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, because I don't know hardly anything except what you said in the podcast about it. So just relating to those things. And the question I have is, when was this done originally? What year?
It was done originally in 2008.
And
So
how in the world did he decide to
old.
do this? How did he decide to do this? I mean,
one, I think Dave Juskow is a fan first and foremost.
Okay.
But he just thought that it was funny that the Cars, this successful band, was looked at as being so robotic and terrible in concert.
Yep.
That's the whole gag of the movie. But I think he uses a lot of his friends who are in the comedy business in this movie, and they just kind of decided, him and Memo Salazar, to get together and to do this kind of low budget on purpose film. And we had heard about it for the years after it was completed, because they did screenings. I think they did a couple of screenings in New York.
Okay.
And it's not like I was going to fly to New York to see it, but a few people saw it and made comments about it. But then it just kind of went away. And the way I got on it again was I was listening to his podcast, and he had brought it up.
Okay.
He had brought up the song that he had written for the movie. So that's kind of how it all started. And I would just keep bugging him on Twitter. And finally, I just said, hey, how are we ever going to see this film? And he just, he was nice enough to let Donna and I see it. And we decided, hey, we're going to do a podcast about it. And just kind of go from there. So that's where we're at. But I think he's if you listen to his podcast, you kind of see where Dave comes from. He's hilarious. I find his life hilarious and all the things he talks about. But he's an admitted procrastinator.
Okay.
I would think that, I can get this done and blah, blah, blah. But, we had talked about the fact that, this was the year to get this movie released, with the Hall of Fame and that kind of stuff. But I just don't think things are lining up.
Okay.
For it to be. It's probably, just going to be one of those things, I think, that they end up releasing in a streaming service. I don't see them doing DVDs, or at least not here in the United States. They might do something overseas or something at some point, but
the Turks will do it.
The Turks will do it. Yeah.
For me, that's going to be the neatest part. Sometimes you like to feel like, oh, I know this about the Cars and everything, and I just don't know this at all. So to me, that's going to be a blast to see this and listen to you laugh about it and have a good time checking this out. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, I think Donna and I said before, the key to enjoying this film is realizing that it's not a
documentary.
Band. Yeah, it's not a documentary.
Right.
It's you have to accept the characterization of Rick Ocasek and Benjamin Orr, especially Benjamin Orr, and all the rest of the guys as these separate characters to the real people, and just going on from there with it.
Okay.
But it's also one of those movies, I think, that the more you see it, the more you get into it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, and you pick up all sorts of new little things every time, and it just gets funnier. It is never. It's not. It's just never not funny. I laugh every time I watch it.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I admit it's kind of, maybe it's kind of rude of Donna and I to go on and give quotes and talk about it, and because I mean we're not trying to come off as we've seen it, you haven't,
No,
but
not
it's
at
just it's so awesome. I just want to express to people that if you showed major interest in this, which we still don't have major interest in it,
Yep.
that they would have to follow through with it. If we had as many people on the turbocharge page as we do on like some of these Benjamin Orr pages with 5,000, 10,000 people, how could they not release this movie? Get on it and release it when they
Right.
know they have that kind of an audience. But when you're looking at 140 people on the page, I don't think that's that's not going
Yeah. Right.
But see,
So-
I'm a more of the mindset of it doesn't have to be this huge thing. It's a cult movie for a niche audience. Geez, Nicholas can copy it onto DVDs and print out a graphic sticker, and we can sell these things grassroots. I mean, come on. David,
that would-
Juskow, everybody needs to see this movie.
that would that would be up to David to do it. But
Well, I'm not. Please let me clarify. I am not saying we would do that behind David's back or. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
I don't mean
right,
that at all. I just mean, I wish David would look at it a little bit on a smaller scale. If my son can do it from his bedroom, I'm sure he can get somebody that can, because it just needs to be enough to get out to this core group that is willing to pay for it. They want it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in the movie theaters. These, just
No.
it's sitting on his shelf. He can make some money on it.
Yeah.
Going small scale. So that's my encouragement. It's certainly not a plot to overthrow him and take care of
sure.
ourselves.
And the other disclaimer being that everything that has been done in concerns with turbocharge has been with the permission of David Juskow and Memo Salazar.
Absolutely.
I got permission to have Donna see it. I've gotten permission to make the Facebook page, permission to take screen caps, permission to have a certain amount of video on that page, permission to have a few friends watch it with me in Cleveland.
Okay.
So
So I didn't let the cat out of the bag or anything here, did I?
no.
Okay, good.
That's and it's all the is it okay if I have a couple friends view it? Yeah, that's fine. So just keeping it on the legal side and
Sure.
well, not just legal, but just as a common
respectful.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Respect
Yeah.
for his property for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think about it, he's gone above and beyond having trust with Donna and I in doing this for us, just providing us with a copy of the movie. Because, think about the people who, back in the day when you had the Benjamin Orr tracks, and those were provided to a few select people, and somebody ended up duping it off a million times.
Right.
It's that kind of stuff that turns people off to making stuff available to the fan base.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's a double-edged sword on that particular topic, though, because if that never was made available, we would never know about it, would we?
probably not.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand the artistic license and all that, and the legality, but boy, what a great bunch of music that is kind of out there, so to speak.
Well, that's where you just wish people would voluntarily share what they own, to truly, so that we could. What?
I'm
Name
laughing.
no names.
I'm laughing because Jenny's laughing.
What are you laughing at, Jenny?
Jenny's left because Kurt's hoarding all his stuff and won't share.
Oh, no. I'm voluntarily share. We all know someone whose name rhymes with
Don't do
ass
it.
hat. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true.
No.
That's on our list
Yeah.
of topics, isn't it?
Oh, it's in our topic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the list.
It's on the list.
Well, Well, which we might as well go there because that actually happened during the induction weekend.
Oh,
Did you know that, Dave?
Expound upon this.
Yeah, expand upon.
Well, I will be happy to. While I was in Cleveland, I was alerted that a newly released Captain Swing demo was made available for sale by a former member of Captain Swing. And it was something that I had never heard before, and I've heard lots of Captain Swing. And it was so exciting to find that out, and I went to click on it. I was going to buy it, to find out that it was $40 for one song. Now,
Okay,
granted,
now I get the connection here.
yeah,
Yep.
he was offering all of these songs from this one recording session. I don't remember 10 or 12. I don't remember how many there were. Each song was $40 a pop.
Yes.
So,
Which isn't going to
wow.
happen. It's not going to
right.
happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean,
Not for all of them.
here's the thing about this. If the gentleman was reasonable, he could certainly sell that whole catalog of songs for $40 on a CD. I'd pay $40 for it.
I'd have shelled it
But
out.
I'm not gonna.
Absolutely.
I'll be damned if I'm going to pay $40 a song. That's just downright greedy and ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, not happening.
Agreed.
As a matter of fact, I will say this to the gentleman who is doing that. I'm charging you $40 right now for listening to this podcast. We get those stats and data on who's listening. I'm going to narrow it down to him, and everyone, I'm going to send him a bill. $45.
Well, when he pays, make sure I get my $10 and send a fourth of it.
There you go.
I will. I will share the spoils 4 ways, people.
That's right. Even Steven.
I better just make it 44 then, so we all get $11.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Good enough.
But wait, if you order now, we only need a separate shipping and handling.
Shipping and handling for an audio podcast. That's pretty funny.
Was that the only new song that you hadn't heard before? The rest of them were like "Bye Bye Love" and things like that, correct?
The rest of them, yes. The rest of them were Captain Swing songs that there are other versions of out there. So that was the only new song that I hadn't heard. And I would love to have those other demos. I mean, you know me, I love demos. I could listen to 4 different versions of the same song and love it. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not going to pay $40 a song for it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Not to that person.
Jenny, would you pay $40 for the complete catalog of those songs?
Absolutely. Like, I totally agree. I would pay $40 for a CD, or something. But for each song, no. Yeah.
No, it's so
greedy and bitter. Yeah.
Talk about a cash grab.
Okay, here's something related a little bit. Now, weren't there some of the songs from the Grasshoppers for sale on eBay?
Mm-hmm.
They were actual cuts. Were they like $300?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money, but for something like that, now, when you say acetate, I mean, fill me in a little. You're not talking just is it a copy of a vinyl record, or is it something more than that? Tell me about that.
I think that's pre-vinyl, isn't it?
Yes.
I think that's the version of a record before the records that we know now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's it's a thin piece of plastic, actually.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember you used to get
like
the
cereal
45, the magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the best was on back of a cereal box.
Yes.
Yeah. Would that be your crunch or your Christmas crunch? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Christmas
you've
crunch.
got like an 8-year-old kid cutting a record out of the back of a cereal box and cutting into the music, and
So were those just like one-off copies that happened to be on there, or is it some kind of a reproduction?
I believe those were the original acetates.
I think they were too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I believe they were.
Okay. I saw those and I thought that's kind of interesting because there was 3 or 4 something like that, 5 of them.
Yeah. And a couple of them were new vocals that we hadn't heard before from Ben.
Yeah. Because didn't they give a little audio clip too?
Well, they had the entire audio clip.
Oh,
It
okay.
costs you $5 a song to preview it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, those were great, and I had forgotten about those, Kurt. I'm glad you brought them up because, as we're talking about new music released this year for the Cars, that's definitely part of Cars history right there, and I'd forgotten about those.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Cool beans.
Wow. So the other thing I just wanted to make mention of that was great for this year was the Agora, Live at the Agora listening party, and I so wish that you three could have been there with me, because that was one of those kind of events that I just wish I had the panorama around me, because it was so fantastic. But that was the one that had Donna's quote that she don't hyperventilate, Donna, up on there and everything, and that was just kind of a weird moment for me. But man, it was so cool with that sound system in that theater and just listening to that album. Incredible.
So cool. I wish I could have gone. Yeah, in the Foster Theater. Very cool.
Very nice. It was very nice.
You just blew my mind when you presented that to me on that podcast.
That's what I think I said before. That's what I like about doing these episodes where we do the album dissections, because it's cool to sit and listen and go through an album with another person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like when we go to Cleveland, it'd be kind of cool just go up in a hotel room and just start playing some of the albums and just reminisce about it.
We wouldn't have enough time. You know what I mean? I could be doing that all night. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a blast.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, before we get off the topic of music, I do want to bring up too, Jenny, you reminded us of this. There was new audio from Richard and the Rabbits that we heard this year.
Yeah.
Twilight Superman. Nick Camutzis released that on his SoundCloud page, and I think Dave, we were just talking about it recently. I can't remember why, but I messaged Nick, because I'm friends with him on Facebook, and said, I had never chatted with him before, but he had accepted my friend request, and so I said, we just reposted this audio in our Cars group. We talked about it on our podcast, and boy, we'd sure love to hear some more if you have any. And he said, I'll see what I can find. So
nice.
Yeah,
it would be cool if he would release that, so that we could have. That's another thing that I'd purchase.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever.
That would be so great.
But he so graciously offered it on his SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For free.
SoundCloud, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, SoundCloud.
Yeah, but you can't download it off SoundCloud, right? You can't buy it.
You can't buy it, no, but you can download it.
Yeah.
There's a download button right on there.
No way.
There is.
Seriously?
It's like the little ... next to the... I hear you getting on your computer. It's the little ... next to it.
I'm on my phone.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, you can download it off of SoundCloud. Like legit download it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so hopefully I'm optimistic that he'll find some more. That would be so great.
Well, heck. I'll have to look that up and see if I can... And will that download right to your phone?
Well, I do it on my laptop. It downloaded right to my laptop.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Gosh. And just imagine, I'm the tech specialist at my school, but by golly, when it comes to stuff on my phone, I'm a total freaking idiot.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool.
Right. All right, well, let's segue over to Rick's art shows.
Yes.
Rick's been doing the art shows all year. I'd love to go to one.
Mm-hmm.
Would any of you buy one, knowing that they're thousands of dollars?
I wish.
I'd have to lean towards no.
Really?
Would any of you consider buying one for me?
I'd
have to lean toward no. I don't know. I like his art. I think it's really great. I'd buy it if I could afford it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Kurt, you don't think you would?
No.
You just don't like it, huh?
No. Sorry.
I see.
Yeah. There's a few pieces that are just they're really stick out, and I really like them. But to pay that kind of money. Wow.
Yeah.
But it's art. It's in a gallery.
How many thousands are we talking?
Oh, I think there's some like for 3,000 or something like that.
That's the number I would have said too. Yeah.
3 to 5. It's all dependent on the size.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well,
of the piece.
Just Donna, just think how many T-shirts you could buy for $3,000.
Hey, there's only so many days in the year to wear a T-shirt.
Yeah. I think probably something in my price range from Rick would be something that he scribbled on a napkin while at dinner.
Yeah.
He's calculating
Scribbled
the
or
tip.
dribbled?
Dribble. Got a little gravy on it from his meatloaf.
Well, you could clear coat it and call it art.
There you go. Cha-ching.
Dribblings from Rick.
Well, like I said, if I had the money, and of course what I mean by that is that would have to be 3,000 disposable dollars. That wouldn't be.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't have 3,000 in the bank. I'm just saying I don't have 3,000 to spend on that. It would definitely have to be.
Party at your house.
Wait. No. Yeah. If I could afford it, I'd have it. Plus,
I
you
wonder
get to
how
meet
much
him.
he's selling, though.
I don't know.
And if he's selling, how many Cars fans are buying them, and how many just art fans
Well,
are buying it?
Dante Tomaselli's brother bought one.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Yeah, so I don't know.
It would be cool to say if you had an original and it was on your wall. I mean, who wouldn't love that,
Yeah.
But
Cool.
when you talk about how many Cars fans are buying it compared to art fans, when you look at any of the release information for his gallery stuff, it's always Rick Ocasek of the Cars. Does he need to say it every time, or is his name big enough? Is he bigger than the Cars? You know what I mean? So there's always that tied to it. And I don't know how important that is to help an audience. Is he looking for Cars fans to come by it, or is it just otherwise who's Rick Ocasek, the artist?
Right, exactly.
So no dig there, just observation.
Right. Well, it's just business sense in a way. If the people in the general art world aren't going to recognize his name as being an artist, they would need a grounding point of, like you said, who's Rick Ocasek?
Right.
Oh, he was from the Cars. Oh, he's doing art, huh?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's how, I understand that if you go to those showings, the only way to get to meet him is to buy a picture, right? Or buy one of his artwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ready?
So,
Well,
you're paying for that, too. You're paying for the handshake.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to start a GoFundMe to get me an original
Go what you?
Ocasek.
Go what you?
Ocasek.
Okay.
So there we go. All right, so finally, we have what people have been waiting for 11 years?
11 years.
11 years. We have finally had the Orr book released. Kurt, Jenny, have you purchased it and read it?
Jenny, go ahead.
I have begun reading it, and sadly things got in the way, and I just haven't finished it yet. So far, so good, though.
They don't
Very
let you read
exciting
books.
critique.
Read books in county jail or what?
Well, yeah, it's in the library.
only for a few hours a week.
Imagine people listening partway through there. Oh my God, she's in jail. What the hell's going on, Dave?
Inside joke, folks. Inside joke.
You're going to get all sorts of messages now, Jenny. Are
Yes.
you okay?
Yeah.
What happened? How can we help?
She's at the Crowbar Motel, man.
To give the full story, Jenny was arrested for protesting the internet, and there's been an increased police presence on her protests, and she finally caught up with her. She got hosed with the fire hose, and I think pepper spray, and then taken on in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And,
I sit down with the man, quit oppressing me.
yeah. And so she gets put in a place where there's readily available internet, which is really ironic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's in my face all day long now. Yeah. Terrible.
Yep, so there you go. So, Donna, do you happen to know what sales are at this point for Let's Go? I mean, it's more than they thought. There's a second pressing.
Yeah, which
correct?
is, yes. I'm not sure how much I'm at liberty to say, but the second printing is all sold. So, I mean, and it's still going strong. It's still going strong. So, yeah, it's been good. It's been a real success. So,
Nice.
yeah, and Joe's
That's
still,
fantastic.
yeah. Joe's still got some interviews lined up, and of course, the event, and then we're still looking for a Boston event to get on the schedule, so that's in the works, and yeah, it's doing well.
But the point is that the publisher pretty much underestimated the attention and what's the word I'm looking for? The demand. Yeah, the demand for the book initially,
Definitely.
correct?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you know that, Dave?
How do I know that? Because there's going to be a second pressing. Well, and a lot of people who pre-ordered, I mean, some of those people had to wait. They've been, like, if they went through Amazon or whatever,
Gotcha.
they weren't able to get the book right away. That they had to wait a little bit. So,
Right.
much more of a demand than they thought. And it's like, hey, it's the power of Orr.
Right. Well, that's the best. I mean, as unfortunate as it might be that somebody might not get their book, at least it's a good news situation that it's in demand. I mean,
Yes.
that's what you'd want, right? I mean, again, sorry for the people that didn't get theirs, but that's great that it is in demand. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
And go ahead, Donna.
Well, I was going to say, and people have been very patient about it. I mean, I think it's pretty straightened out now, but there was some stressful time in there when people weren't getting their books, and it was hectic.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was hectic. And a lot of people did say, we're frustrated, but we're happy that this is the problem. We're happy for you guys that it wasn't able to stay in stock. But
you just got to look at the big picture, though. If you waited 11 years for this, and you know it's coming,
right?
I mean, the book's not going to go away. When you get it, you got it. You can read it all you want, but it would be tough, to wait. But people have been, I think, really good about not giving anything out. They're not, they're posting selfies of the book and not letting out stories. So very mindful of the people that haven't got it yet. So that's good.
Yeah, that's been really great. And we've gotten selfies and emails from people all around the world that have received it, which has been amazing. Has been so cool to see that. And so yeah, the short stock is a good problem to have. It's better than a warehouse full of books that nobody wants to buy.
Right.
So that's for sure.
Well, the thing that's
how exciting for you for being involved with that, Donna?
How what?
How exciting!
Oh yeah, I'm so grateful to have been on the inside track on this project. Yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I've learned so much, and thank you. Thanks. I feel really privileged to be able to work on it. So, yeah.
Cool.
The lady can index. She's an indexer.
I did write the index. Whew, yeah, that was a job.
Oh, this way, Papa John. The index was sexy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that just makes me blush, Dave.
What? It's Alberto.
I know.
He creates the sexy portraits.
Yeah, Alberto's hurling 4-letter words at you. SCXY.
There you go. But I just want to chime in that, and I said this before on our podcast about Let's Go, but it's really cool to have this book that is now a part of the Fanorama kind of required light reading, to go with Frozen Fire, to go with lyrics and prose, and it's a great reference. I mean, I'm constantly going back to Frozen Fire and the lyrics and prose, and now this book I can refer back to as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know when I got my book, I think I had it for a day, and it was just really tied up with stuff I couldn't do. But the next day, I started reading it at 7 o'clock or whatever it was. I mean, I read it straight through.
Oh,
I don't think
nice.
I've ever done that with a book. I mean, I read it till it was done. I just thought, I'm doing this, and I read it, and I look at the clock, and I just kept going until it was done. So
Nice.
it was pretty cool to be able to say I did that.
Yeah.
Because I don't read books. Up in these parts, we don't read a lot, you know.
You should hang out with my husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I will add again, like we said in the earlier episodes, that to have a picture book or just a book with the pictures, all those pictures that Joe was able to acquire, that'll be probably even a bigger seller than Let's Go.
Yeah,
I'd say that's maybe a safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'd be cool to have, I haven't seen I've seen a few more that are in the book, but I'm sure it's just the tip of the iceberg of what he has. But I think it'd be really cool if he had, some of the better quality ones, or because you know how like in photo books they would have like, maybe a series of small pictures, but then you get the full page photograph on one side, those kind of things. The ones, it'd be really neat to have some that have maybe a paragraph or two of the story behind the photo and, give more information or additional details that aren't in the actual Let's Go book, but just more insight and behind the scenes stuff would be really cool too. So not, not another full book, but a photo book with bonus material, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's got to be on his radar. You'd think, I mean, he probably wants to get through this, get, the book thing, not to say behind it, but just get through it all, enjoy the moment. But I would bet that's on his radar, for having those photos and maybe something just like you mentioned, a few blurbs here and there without it being, just again a description of what's been going on in the photos. But I'd love to see something like that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on his radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that'd be really cool.
And then I think Donna is planning on writing a book about Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast, in which Kurt, we got you, to do the artwork, and I think there's going to be a foreword by Jenny.
I got plenty of time to write it here in the joint.
We can include like a CD of relaxation. Vocalizations from you, Jenny. Put it in the back.
There you go.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
In the joint. Soft leaded pencils only.
Yes.
In the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jenny, how much will a dessert get you, in the joint? You give
It might get me a joint. Yeah.
I trade my cake for some blunt. All right.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, that's so funny. Well, yeah, let me know if you need me to send you some Huckleberry Taffy to trade with.
Yeah, which, by the way, Donna, I'm sorry that I threw you under the bus with the Huckleberry Taffy. I did that post that I made about, hey, you can see, the Night Thoughts people at the book event, and I'm sure Donna's bringing some Huckleberry Taffy.
No,
and now you're
gonna
have to pack some.
I know.
That's right. If it's
You're gonna have to go through TSA with fucking Huckleberry Taffy.
Oh my god! They're gonna pull me aside. They're going to want to sample
you
it.
cannot take food on this flight. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we don't allow medical marijuana taffy. That's not what this is. I promise. It's Huckleberry Taffy.
That's why they call it Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and they're like, Huckleberry Taffy? Yeah, right. That's not a real thing. It is.
Totally is.
No, I was actually glad you brought that up because when you did that post saying you were packing swag, I was like, oh, I don't have anything to give away. But so I was glad you reminded me of that. They sell it in huge bags here, like huge. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna bring a bunch of taffy.
Well, I've got some Night Thoughts swag, and then me, I've just got stuff laying around that's like, you know what, I really don't need this anymore. So hell, I'm gonna take it with me and just throw it at people.
Good idea.
Throw it at people. Well, I have Night Thoughts cards still too, and I'm sure Joe will bring some Let's Go stuff, and so yeah. There'll be lots of goodies for the Fanorama.
It's just to add to the celebration.
Heck yeah.
All right.
I'll have some goodies that I'm going to bring along too. I got some kind of cool stickers made up and some other stuff. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Which means Kurt and I'll probably get busted.
Yeah, for copyright stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This Cleveland police who have been listening to this podcast are now looking for you, Kurt, to make sure that you're following copyright.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is maybe still a little bit book related, but and probably appropriate enough. But as far as like Phil Kamen, is he just kind of fallen off the radar? I mean, he used to be active on social media a little bit, and I have not seen anything from Phil. I don't know if he's not well or if anyone knows about that or not.
I haven't heard anything.
He hasn't called me in I don't know how long, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
But I just...
Just kidding, Donna.
Well, hey.
But no, because he had obviously contributed photos in the book. You
Yeah.
know? And but he was on Facebook and fairly active for a while, and it's like he just has not been at all active since I think early in the year. And I didn't know if anyone had the scoop on if he was okay or just not participating anymore. But I was just a little surprised he's just kind of dropped off the radar.
Yeah, he had some quirky Facebook behavior last year, and I use that word loosely, because he had some interesting interactions with people last year. So I don't know.
Okay.
He was next to me in protesting the internet, and he's
Cell block, see?
cell block too, yeah.
Oh. So he's the new fish.
He's in solitary.
New fish coming down. New fish coming down.
Fish.
Yeah.
So, everyone, I'm asking you this. Favorite part, and you just can only name one thing. Favorite part of 2018 with the cars?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Kurt?
Don't make me go second. I'm still thinking.
Oh, Dave, what kind of
Donna?
question is that? You always throw these
It's a
zingers
great
out
question.
here. What's your answer?
My favorite thing
Yeah.
about 2018? I think my favorite thing about 2018 is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and having that validity now of my fandom. I never thought it would come. I didn't ever think they would get in. It was a total shock to me that they got in.
Nice.
So I'm totally with that.
Oh man.
Okay, Donna, you're next.
And we don't get to have like a tie, right? Like it's a tie between.
Sure.
Oh, you're so nice to me.
Bend the rules, Donna. Go ahead.
Sunshine and rainbows gets every
Yep.
time.
Uh-huh.
It would have to be a tie between getting to work on Let's Go and having that come out for everyone, and having Greg on the podcast. That was pretty great. I mean, the Rock Hall was right up there. It really was. Oh, and I met David Robinson. Oh,
David Robinson's hands.
oh my gosh.
Great part of 2018.
Oh, that might trump everything. Oh,
Wow.
too many good things. This
Yeah.
whole year was fantastic for the cars.
Yes, it was.
Kurt, what are you going to say?
Kurt, you've had
That's
time.
there's too much pressure. There's too many to list. It'd be goofy not to say the Hall of Fame thing. But again, on our sheet here, I put down epic highlight of the year for Greg on the podcast. For the sake of Night Thoughts. But overall, it would have to be the Rock Hall induction. And being there, I mean, that was amazing to be a part of it. I guess. I mean, I'm not trying to rub it in anyone who wasn't, but it's still a case
that
where you
would
look.
be just me, Kurt.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay.
Dave.
But to look back and realize, man, we were there and saw him perform and
The
that was
people we
just
met and,
I mean, a lot of good things happened. It was fun to meet international friends too, so that was a ball.
That's true. Gosh, what a year.
So, as far as 2019, or just in the future, what is everyone looking for?
Oof. For cars related?
Yeah.
Live shows.
Please.
I'll be honest, and I feel like it's not going to be a lot. After this year, all the good things that happened, I don't know. Do you think it's going to go the whole part of Rick and performing live and his desire really not to do that? I just don't know.
I don't think they'll ever tour again.
Yeah.
Bootleg live shows. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as just something new, Rick always has something in him musically. I think he has to get it down, and he has to put it out no matter how many years pass in between albums. He's got to do something. He's due, whether it be a solo album.
Oh, yeah, that way, right?
Or if he decides to have the rest of the band join him in there in some capacity, but he's going to put something out. And
I think if he did, I bet you'd be with the guys again. I don't know that there's been a bunch of success for the solo stuff, rather than maybe This Side of Paradise, and the other ones just weren't. They just didn't have it. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, again, I love that music, but boy, there was just nothing like it. So to have the guys with them again, I think he'd go that route.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
Donna, how about you?
Well, I'd sure love to see some more Richard the Rabbit stuff. Or, vintage, like Jenny said, old live shows. It's just always on my list. Old audio, old photographs. Would love some more photographs. I'm looking forward to having Greg on the podcast again. I'm optimistic that maybe one or two of the other guys could be on the show. Looking forward to more Roy Thomas Baker retweets.
Yeah.
And Dave, we have some exciting guests in 2019. We already know about, and so no spoilers, but that's going to be fun. I'm hoping to do some more writing. I wish that they would put out expanded editions of Door to Door and Move Like This. I know it's a long shot, but come on, I'm a completist. You have to finish the catalog. I don't know. I don't think that Joe would be able to do a photo book within 2019, but looking forward to the Boston event and of course the Cleveland event. And I think there's still, of course I would want a new album from the Cars, but I barring that, I think there's still things to look forward to. If Rick would put his crayons down long enough to go through that vault one more time, I'm sure we could find something in there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Crayons.
Isn't that what he colors with, or markers?
Markers.
Oh,
Markers. Yeah.
Maybe washables.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys heard that 80s symphonic track, right?
Yeah.
Kurt, are you crumpling up your paper?
Nope, I'm just checking my list.
And you're scribbling on it? I can hear you,
sorry.
man.
Okay.
Kurt's going over recipes.
I got that 80s symphonic CD for Christmas from Nick. It's so good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great tracks on it. It's really good, but that was awesome. I would love to have more unique, not really cross-cultural, but like things from outside of the Cars franchise doing things about the Cars.
Yeah,
yes.
I understand that.
Yeah, that would be
similar
great.
to Substitution Mass Confusion.
Yes,
but,
yes.
Right.
Other bands have done the orchestral kind of thing. Pink Floyd comes to mind. There's an album that I have that's Metallica. Yeah, those it's always cool to hear.
Scorpions do a cover of Drive too.
They did.
Yes, they did.
Drive,
Yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah.
So I'd like to just some different things. That would be. I think there's still a lot. We can hope for. More and more photographs are being
Way to be
unearthed.
optimistic. That a girl.
Thanks, Sunshine and Rainbows. Especially on the Benjamin Orr Remembered group, the admin there, her name's Tracy.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys all know Tracy. She's finding more and more photographs from people.
Yes. Right.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's, but she's definitely.
She's awesome. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing great. I have had a couple of interviews in the last couple of weeks about articles I'm getting ready to do for the blog, hopefully, after the first of the year, and there's just still so much more to learn out there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2019. It won't be the fireworks display that we just had this year, but I think it'll still be pretty good. I do.
Awesome. Good. All right. Well, that pretty much kind of wraps up our year in review. Any parting thoughts? Anyone?
See you in Cleveland.
Yeah, see you in Cleveland.
Oh, except Jenny. Way to go, Kurt.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Jenny. See you in the big house.
Yeah.
You know
Be on
what?
parole.
Jenny, maybe I need to do a pocket Jenny while I'm in.
Oh.
Yes! Let's make a pocket Jenny! We
That
have
would be
to.
hysterical.
That would be awesome.
Just put her in a striped suit. Or the orange, county jail in the
Yeah,
back.
there you go.
Yeah.
Prisoner number across the front. Put a nice
Yeah.
tattoo on her arm.
Jenny, did you ever hear what happened to my pocket Dave?
What do you mean? Whatever happened to it? I
No,
still have
No.
mine.
Did I tell you what happened to my pocket Dave?
No.
I had a pocket Dave. I was in the podcasting den here and had my 6-year-old granddaughter, and she picks it up and sees it. She goes, "Oh, can I have this?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, you can have it if you want." And her mom told me that it was like ripped in half within a day.
Wow.
Probably starting with a head.
Oh. Papa didn't give me candy.
Yeah, tear it up. That's the way it goes.
I still have my pocket Dave.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe I should get a picture with it in Cleveland,
Yeah,
What
there
the-
you go. Pocket
All
Dave
right.
and Dave. Well,
Yep.
I just want to say that I love you guys, all three of you. I mean, what a treat to have made friends through the cars and just genuine friendships. I just love you guys.
Thank you very much. It really was fun to meet the two of you in Cleveland. I look forward to meeting Dave too. So, and you're right. It's a neat friendship to have. It starts out as a Facebook pal,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you're meet face to face, and it just changes everything,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a feeling Dave and I are gonna hit it off pretty good. I hope we can. I hope we don't laugh the entire time, so it could be challenging.
I hope my eyes
Could be.
I hope my eyes don't roll out of my head listening to you guys.
They might. Yeah. Well, we don't have to keep it rated G for any podcast either.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
right. Oh
That's
boy.
for sure. All right.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you guys.
Oh, Jenny, we're gonna miss you so much. I wish you could come.
So
yeah, I'll look at my stuff again, but you know what? I just got a letter from the IRS today,
Ugh.
so
Well,
Alright.
like I said, I've got 2 queen beds in my hotel room, so if you can get there, you can crash with me, sis. I'll buy you meals too. my box of Cheez-It crackers you can share.
yeah,
awesome.
and your
Awesome.
Huckleberry Taffy.
Yeah, exactly. We'll feast on it all weekend long.
Fantastic.
Better than prison food.
Right. But Jenny, besides the county jail, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Poor
Sure. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Jenny Durgin. You can find me on Twitter. I am Genderama. And on YouTube, my channel is Buntastic.
Yes.
There you go.
Kurt, how about you? You want to put a plug in for your business? We won't charge you.
Okay. Yeah. Probably best to just go to gabersigns.com. And then I'm on Facebook. Believe it or not, I'm on Twitter, but I don't really do it a whole lot. Don't even know what my Twitter name is. I don't even know.
But you know what, Kurt? In all honesty, I think you understand Twitter more than Roy Thomas Baker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I'm on Instagram too a little bit. So, yeah.
All right. Donna?
You know where you can find me. I'm on Twitter at SweetPurpleJune, and I also write a blog about Benjamin Orr and the Cars called www.sweetpurpljune.wordpress.com. Come find me.
All right. And I teach a reading class at the county jail, so you can find me there. And besides that, you can find me on Twitter at @night_spots. So there we go.
All righty.
So thank you guys
All
for
right.
being with us for our last episode of 2018. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks, friend.
Thanks for the invite. Yeah, I appreciate it, you guys, a bunch.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year. Yeah.
Boom. All right, Donna, take us out.
All right, I'm going to close this out with a Christmas song from our good friend BB. It's a demo he did back in 2002, and it's a little sampling of what it might have sounded like if the Cars did a Christmas song. Also, don't miss our new recording of The Business by vocal talent Elizabeth. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. Wherever you found us, iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Send us an email for The Midnight Scroll at nightthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. As always, Night Thoughts reserves the right to edit or not read an email on the air. You can follow us on Twitter at The Cars Podcast. Grab yourself a podcast t-shirt at tpublic.com/user/nightthoughts. All the cool kids are wearing them. Oh, and finally, search for The Cars Night Thoughts on Facebook and join our group page. P.S. I am totally Team Rick.
Oh, well, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. It's Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, he knows when you are sleeping, and he knows when you're awake, and he knows when you've been bad or good. For goodness sake, he's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's a naughty or nice. Well, Santa Claus is coming to town. Comes and goes. When you've been sleeping, and he knows when you're awake, and he knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, he's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. To town.